Alright guys, welcome back to part 2 of my little bookshelf tour thing. This video, we're going to start with my TBR, which is still ever growing. So what's going to be what I have of it first, and then we'll move on to like the soft covers. The last video was all the hardcovers, plus the books I've recently read. So we're going to start with the TBR. And my TBRs is no particular order either, so, and I'm missing two books that are definitely going to be going straight into the TBR, and those two are, Hollow by Selena Myers, which is, coming out very, very soon. It's actually in the mail, just waiting for it to get delivered, and then I'm waiting on Iron Flame, which is, as you know, the second book in the Fourth Wing series, before I can get to the third one, so, those are coming in. They should be here tomorrow, I hope. But those will be immediately added to the top of the TBR, just a fair warning. But anyways, we'll start with this one here, which is That's Not My Name by Megan Lawley. I've heard great things about this book. The cover is gorgeous. Shivering and bruised, a teen wakes up on the side of a dirt road with no memory of how she got there or who she is. The police don't know where she came from until a frantic man arrives at the station. He's been searching for her for hours. He has her school ID, her birth certificate, and even family photos. He is her father. Her name is Mary, or so he says. When Lola slammed the car door and stormed off into the night, Drew thought they just needed some time to cool off, except Lola disappeared. Now his friends, the sheriff, and the whole town are convinced Drew murdered his girlfriend. Forget proving his innocence, he needs to find her. The longer Lola is missing, the fewer leads there are to follow, and the more danger they are both in. Like, I've heard such good things about this book, and I'm so excited to get to it. And it is at the very top of my TBR after, Hollow and Iron Flame. So I will get to this one very shortly. I am also going to start posting like book review videos and stuff, so you might see this one in a book review video and maybe possibly by next month. But this is gorgeous. Look at the cover. It's so pretty. I'm so excited to read this book, guys. I've heard really good things. But anyways, the next one in the stack is the third book in the Fourth Wing series. This one is Onyx Storm. This one I found, of course, when I ordered the second one, I ordered this one too. And literally I went to a free library shelf the next day, or 2 days after, and I found the third book. So I do have another copy of the third book coming in, so that one will be posted in or up for sale in my Pango Books, just because I don't want to put this one up for sale because it's got that impossibly hard to get off sticker that will ruin it, and I don't want to do that. So I will be posting on my Pango the new copy of this that I ordered, and then I found it. So yeah, but anyways, I'm really excited to get to this one, guys. Just gotta get the second one first. But I can't tell you how obsessed I am with this Fourth Wing series, even just off the first book. So I am very excited to get to this one. 10 out of 10. The amount of excitement that I have for those books. Up next, we have Mirrorland, by Carol Johnston, or Johnston, I think is how you say that one. But it's told with startling twist. Mirrorland is a thrilling psychological suspense novel about twin sisters, the man they both love, the house that has always haunted them, and the childhood stories they can't leave behind. Like, I'm excited. It's like lost twins. They eventually end up finding each other, I believe. And I'll just read the back. It says, Kat lives in Los Angeles, far from 36 Westerick Road, the imposing Gothic house in Edinburgh, where she and her estranged twin sister, Elle, grew up. As girls, they invited They invented Mirrorland, a dark, imaginary place under the pantry stairs full of pirates, witches, and clowns. These days, Kat rarely thinks about their childhood home or the fact that Elle now lives there with her husband, Ross. But when Elle mysteriously disappears after going out on her sailboat, Kat is forced to return to 36 Westerick Road, which hasn't changed in 20 years. The grand old house is still full of shadowy corners, and at every turn, Kat finds herself stumbling on long-held secrets and terrifying ghosts from the past because someone, Elle, has left cat clues, a treasure hunt that leads back to Mirrorland, where the truth lies waiting. A brilliantly crafted story of love and betrayal, redemption and revenge. Mirrorland is a propulsive, page-turning debut about the power of imagination and the price of freedom. Sounds good to me. So, it's very high up on the TBR. Cannot wait to read it. The next one is actually by an author that is local to me. Grew up with him. Grew up with his mom. His mom used to hand out hot dogs on Halloween. Like, random fact. But this is The Ghost at His Back, a Rankin Flats supernatural thriller by Cameron Lowe. He is one of the sweetest people you will ever meet. He buys a lot of my collectibles from me, so it's actually really cool. He gave me this copy of his book, and I'm excited to get to it. It's in a decaying city, the dead watch over the living. Ghosts are assholes, and no one knows that better than Garrett, long-suffering seer of the departed. Accompanied by his spectral friend Murphy, Garrett has made a lucrative lifestyle for himself by taking down his city's worst element. But when Garrett falls for an alluring acquaintance after she comes back to Rankin Flats, every rule Garrett and Murphy have lived by comes into question, and if that wasn't enough, their lives are about to become darkly intertwined with that of a serial killer stalking the streets. And I'm so excited to read this, guys. Like, I really am. I grew up with this guy. Like, he's older than me probably by about 10 years, but his mom is awesome. She was a nurse. I love her. She still is a nurse. At the same hospital that I actually work at. But I'm excited to get to this book, guys. And the fact that it's kind of like a paranormal attachment, kind of romance book, I am really excited. And he is actually in the middle of writing a romantasy that I am also excited to see the previews of. So, I need to get to this. I'm really happy. Like, I love the fact that I have that book in my collection and it's going to stay there forever no matter if I like it or not, because it's my local author. Up next, I have The Surgeon by Leslie Wolfe. Trusted surgeon, loving wife, murderer, ? This one is, before my world came crashing down, I had it all. The successful career I dreamed of, the beautiful red brick home where I could relax in the front of a fire, the handsome, devoted husband whose blue eyes and charming smile always made me feel safe. As I call time of death, my voice is steady. My colleagues stand hushed around me, their eyes on me, confused, concerned. My hands tremble inside their gloves. I slide down the cold tiled walls, my heart racing in my chest. But what choice did I have once I recognized him? And what will I do to protect myself if someone learns the truth? Guys, I'm so excited for this. Like, the fact that I love hospital theme books. And that's why I'm like a CNA and stuff, going to nursing school. But I love hospital themed anything. Like, and this cover is just, it's gorgeous. This book, it's like a little snack. It's so cute. I cannot wait. And then we have this one, which is also another short snack of a book. It's Don't Look Back. Some Mysteries Are Not Meant to Be Solved by Ben Cheatham. That one. And it says, what really haunts Fenton House? After the tragic death of their 11-year-old son, Adam and Ella are fighting to keep their family from falling apart. Then comes an opportunity that seems too good to be true. They win a competition to live for free in a breathtakingly beautiful mansion on the Cornish Lizard Peninsula. There's just one catch. The house is supposedly haunted. Mystery has always swirled around Fenton House. In 1920, the house's original owner, reclusive industrialist Walter Lorraine, hanged himself from its highest turret. In 1996, the inhabitants George Terrain and his wife Sophia and their young daughter Eloise disappeared without a trace. Neither mystery was ever solved. Adam is not the type to believe in ghosts. As far as he's concerned, ghosts are simply memories. Everywhere he looks in their cramped London home, he sees his dead son. Despite misgivings, the chance to start fresh is too tempting to pass up. Adam, Ella, and their surviving son Henry move into Fenton House. At first, the change of scenery gives them all a new lease on life, but as the house starts to reveal its secrets, they come to suspect that they may not be alone after all. And just look at that absolutely hauntingly gorgeous cover. And the back is just as beautiful with like the foggy mountain kind of scene. I am so excited for this book. And again, it's a snack. It's like less than 300 pages, so should be a quick like day read for me. And I'm excited to get to it. Up next, we have The Cellar by Natasha Preston. This one, my stomach dropped as a tall, dark-haired man stepped into the view. He had been hiding between the trees. No, sorry, gulping. I took a step back. I'm not Lily. He shook his head, a satisfied grin on his face. No, you are Lily. I'm Summer. You have the wrong person. You utter freak. I could hear my pulse crashing in my ears. How stupid to give him my real name. He continued to stare at me, smiling. It made me feel sick. You are Lily, he repeated. Before I could blink, he threw his forearms forward and grabbed me. I tried to shout, but he clasped his hand over my mouth, muffling my screams. My heart raced. I'm going to die. For months, Summer is trapped in a cellar with the man who took her and 3 other girls, Rose, Poppy, and Violet, his perfect, pure flowers. His family. But flowers can't survive long cut off from the sun, and time is running out. Guys. And it looks like this one is a part of a series too. Like the next one is You Will Be Mine, and then Awake, and then The Cabin kind of thing. But like they could be their own individual reads as well, I believe. So I'm excited for this one. I love a stalkery kidnapper kind of book. So I'm excited. Let's see. We have up next is My Dearest Darkest by Kayla Cottingham. Again, I love that book. Which one was it? This Delicious Death, which was the fresh take on the zombie apocalypse kind of thing. So this one is My Dearest Darkest by Kayla Cottingham. Vince Chamberlain is the newest transfer student to the ultra-competitive Yulum Academy. She's also not what she seems. Before school started, Finch and her parents were in an accident that should have left her dead, but something monstrous and ancient and terrifying wouldn't let her die. Finch doesn't know why she woke up after her heart stopped, and ever since she's felt a constant pull to the town of Rainwater, like something there is calling her. Selena St. Clair rules Yulum Academy. She's careful not to let anyone get too close to her until she meets Finch. The 2 girls are instantly drawn to each other, even though Selena fears letting Finch in will change everything. One night, Finch, Selena, and their friends accidentally summon a creature of immense power in the depths of the school. It promises to grant every desire the girls have kept locked away in their insecure hearts. Beauty, power, adoration in exchange for a price, but as the cost of their wanting becomes more deadly, Finch and Selena must learn to work together to stop the horror they've unleashed before it consumes their entire island. And it sounds so good. Like, this nice, simple cover, Barnes & Noble monthly pick. Like, I'm excited for it, guys. I really liked the first book that I read by her, so I hope I love this one too. But I'm excited for that one. And then here we have Delicious Monsters by Lizelle Sambury, I think is how you say that. And I've heard great things about this book. I actually found it out thrifting, which was a shock to me. The cover is gorgeous. I'm excited. This one is Daisy Sees Dead People, something impossible to forget in bustling ghost-packed Toronto. She usually manages to deal with her unwanted ability, but she's completely unprepared to be dumped by her boyfriend. So when her mother inherits a secluded mansion in northern Ontario where she spent her childhood summers, Daisy jumps at the chance to escape, but the house is nothing like Daisy expects, and she begins to realize that her experience with the supernatural might be no match for her mother's secrets, nor what lurks within these walls. A decade later, Brittany is desperate to get out from under the thumb of her abusive mother, a best-selling author who claims her stay at Miracle Mansion allowed her to see the error of her ways, but Brittany knows that's nothing but a sham. She decides the new season of her popular haunted web series will uncover what happened to a young black girl in the mansion 10 years prior and finally expose her mother's lies. But as she gets more wrapped up in the investigation, she'll have to decide if she can only bring one story to light, which one matters most. Daisy's or her own. As Brittany investigates the mansion in the present, Daisy's story runs parallel in the past, both timelines propelling the girls to face the most dangerous monsters of all, those that hide in plain sight. I'm really excited for this. It looks so good. I've heard great things. That's why it's on the immediate to be read stack of stuff. Like, I'm excited for it. Then we have The Diamond as Big as the Ritz by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This one is a little short, novella type book. But this is actually based on F. Scott Fitzgerald's stay in Montana. And I do love Montana themed books, so I'm really excited to read this. It'll take me probably less than an hour, but I am excited to read it. It might jump to the top. Might even get read later tonight. But it's the fact that it's about his visit to Montana and why he loved it here. I'm excited. Quick, easy little read there. And then we have The House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. This cover is just what drew me to this book. I honestly don't really know anything about it. It looks kind of fantasy. It said, "Where did Grey Hollow go? Iris Hollow and her two older sisters are unquestionably strange. As children, they disappeared on a Scottish city street only to return a month later with no memory of where they'd been or what happened to them. More troubling, their appearance began to change. Their blue eyes now black, their dark hair now white, and as they grew older, odd, eerie occurrences seemed to follow in their wake. People find them disturbingly intoxicating, unbearably beautiful, and inexplicably dangerous. Now 17-year-old Iris is doing all she can to fit in and graduate high school on time, something her two famous, glamorous, globe-trotting older sisters, Grey and Viv, never managed to do. But when Grey goes missing, leaving behind bizarre clues as to her whereabouts, Iris and Viv are left to find her, but they aren't the only ones looking. As they brush against the supernatural, Iris quickly realizes the story she's been told about their past is unraveling, and the world that returned them seemingly unharmed 10 years ago might just be calling them back again. Again, a fantasy paranormal type book, right up my alley. Super cute, love the cover. Nice little short read too. Really excited for that one. And then I'm going to be doing a reread of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. I usually reread it like once every 2 years or so. It takes me about half a day, but I love this book and I'm excited to give it a reread again. I love anything F. Scott Fitzgerald, so rereading this is always a priority, at least every 2 years, because it's a great book. If you haven't read it, read it. It makes the movie stink. Love the book. And then I have an ARC. This one is Homebound. A joy at once a gripping mystery that confidently spans centuries and hauntingly beautiful exploration of what makes us human. It kept me up all night. Madeline Miller, author of Circe and the Songs of Achilles. This is by Porta Elon. This comes out goes on sale May. It goes on sale May 5th of 2026. The Indie Next is comes out in, so the Indie Next release date is 3/3 of 26, and the library reads is 4/1 of 26. So I'm really excited to get into this and do a review on it. It says Cincinnati, 1983. You are sitting at a computer. It has been 78 days since your uncle died. That's a terrible way to start a game. But this isn't a game, is it? Because what you are coding will outlast you by centuries and shape the lives of a scientist, an astronaut, and a sentient automaton, and a desperate sea captain in ways that you cannot imagine. So, like, I am really, really excited to get into this book and do a review for you guys before it comes out. Like, and this one was published by Scribner, I believe. Coming in May 2026 from Scribner. Yes, I am so excited for this book, guys. And I will be doing a review on it here probably in a couple months, I'm hoping. Obviously, before it comes out for the Indie Next on 3/3 of 26. So I will be getting to this very soon and doing a review on it. Really excited. Tony, I think I won that on like an auction or something, but I'm so excited for it. And then up next we have The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. This one is twins inseparable as children ultimately choose to live in two very different worlds, one black and one white. The Bigness sisters will always be identical, but after growing up together in a small southern black community and running away at age 16, it's not just the shape of their daily lives that is different as adults, it's everything. Their families, their communities, their racial identities. Many years later, one sister lives with her black daughter in the same southern town she once tried to escape. The other secretly passes for white, and her white husband knows nothing of her past. Still, although separated by so many miles and just as many lies, the fates of the twins remain intertwined. What will happen to the next generation when their own daughters' storylines intersect? Weaving together multiple strands and generations, The Vanishing Half is at once a riveting family story and a brilliant exploration of the American history of passing. Look well beyond issues of race, it considers the lasting influence of the past as it shapes a person's decisions, desires, and expectations. I am really excited for this one, guys. It sounds so good. Like, I love it. And I'm excited to get to it here, hopefully soon. And then we have Never Lie by Freida McFadden. Heard great things about this all over BookTube and Book Talk. Can't wait to get to it. I did read The Teacher by Freida McFadden. That was great, so I'm expecting nothing less of these books as well. But I'm really excited to get to this one. Like, I love the fact that it gives like the therapist type couch on the cover, so I'm waiting for the deep darkness that I have a feeling that this book is gonna be, and I'm excited. So, woohoo! And then we have some spice here. This one is Who Am I? This is Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. This says, Who am I? I've forgotten the answer to that question long ago, ever since I ran from that house, so desperate to escape. I left with only the clothes on my back and socks on my feet. After that day, I've only ever walked in stolen shoes. Could I be a girl who is searching for the meaning of life in faceless men? They were all so forgettable until he came along. He took me under a waterfall and made me forget my name, and in return, I took his instead. Enzo Vital, an enigmatic man that will only ever love the deep sea, or rather the predators that inhabited it. Turns out he's not so different than the monsters he feeds. He lured me onto his boat like a fish in the ocean, seeking vengeance for my crime. Had I realized his intentions and that a massive storm would leave us shipwrecked, I would have run. Now I'm a girl who's seeking refuge in a decrepit lighthouse with a man who loathes me almost as much as he craves me. He wants to hurt me, but the old caretaker of the abandoned island may have intentions far more sinister. It's no longer a question of who am I, but rather, will I survive? The spice that I'm expecting out of this book is, I'm hoping, 10 out of 10. Like, I've heard mixed reviews on this book, but again, I don't listen to the negative until I start to read it myself. This cover is devastatingly gorgeous too, though. Like, I'm so excited to get into this. I love, like, dark, spicy books, fantasy romance books, anything like this. So I'm excited to give this a chance, even though I've heard mixed reviews on it. Let's see. Next one is The Tenant by Frida McFadden. Also heard great things about this one. As you know, I've heard great things about literally every Frida McFadden book, so I can't wait to get to this one as well. Sounds kind of like a stalkery type Tenant book, and I'm excited for it. So this will be gotten to soon, possibly done with a review at the end. We shall see, but I'm excited for it. Like, I really, really am. And then this one right here, I love this cover. It's Damned by Chuck Palahniuk, I think is how you say it. He's the author of The Fight Club. So I'm really excited to read this. It says, Madison is the 13-year-old daughter of a narcissistic film star and a billionaire. Abandoned at her Swiss boarding school for Christmas, she dies over the holidays, presumably of a marijuana overdose. The last thing she remembers is getting into a town car and falling asleep. Then she's waking up in hell, literally. Madison soon finds herself sharing a cell with a motley crew of young sinners, a cheerleader, a jock, a nerd, and a punk rocker, all united by their doomed fate. Like a breakfast club of the damned, together they form an odd coalition and march across the unspeakable landscape of hell, full of used diapers, dandruff, Wi-Fi blackout spots, evil historical figures, and one horrific call center to confront the devil himself. Like, it just sounds like pure chaos, and I love it. And I love Fight Club. That book was amazing. The movie was amazing. So I am so excited to get to this. I didn't even know this existed until I found it in a thrift store. And I am really excited to see where this goes. And just by the back, I have a feeling that this also should have gotten a movie along with Fight Club. Like, come on. It's like Little Nicky meets Breakfast Club meets the devil himself. So, I mean, I'm excited for it. Really, really excited for that book. Up next, we have, of course, With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I told you I have a Riley Sager book on my TBR. And not to murder me for all the unread ones that I have up there. But this is With a Vengeance. A clever and fun mashup of Agatha Christie and Then There Were None and Murder on the Orient Express. Sager wields a deft hand in bringing all the elements together into a rip-roaring, tension-filled tale of greed, murder, and revenge. Enjoy the ride on the Phoenix. I am so excited for this, guys. It seems like it's going to be like a murder mystery on a train. And I am excited. The cover is also really gorgeous, too. But, guys, I told you I have a Riley Sager book in my TBR, so give me a break. I'm excited for it, though. And then let's see. We have another dark romance book here. This one is Beautiful Graves by L.J. Shen. I've heard great things about L.J. Shen books, so I'm really excited to get into this one. It says, they say first loves are oftentimes the end of one's innocence. Those words couldn't ring truer for Evelyn Lawson, whose first brush with romance came with heartbreak. And the thing that seems to follow her everywhere she goes, death. After a great tragedy, Evelyn loses all she cares about, her dreams, her family, and her soulmate, Joe. Guilt-ridden, Evelyn decides to isolate herself in Salem, Massachusetts, a shell of the woman she once was. She takes her days one at a time, careful not to allow herself the joy she believes others in her life were robbed of. But when the mysterious, handsome Dominic storms into her life, it becomes more difficult to stay in solitude. Dominic is a different, adventurous, joyous, with a lust for life and a passion to make her his. Evelyn is on the cusp of reinventing herself once again when the old wounds of her past are resurrected, rawer than ever. There is nothing worse than being in love with two men, especially when one of them hates you. So it's like a why choose dark romance, second chance romance book, and I am so excited. Like, this cover, I've heard great things about books by L.J. Shen, so I'm really excited to get to this, guys. I'll say that much. Like, I love me a spicy book. And then we have What Lies in the Woods by Kate Ellis Marshall. This one is from January of 2023, and it finally got added into my TBR. This one is, Naomi Shaw used to believe in magic. 20 years ago, she and her two best friends, Cassidy and Olivia, spent the summer roaming the woods, imagining a world of ceremony and wonder, the Goddess's Game. The game became an obsession and a refuge for the three girls. That sanctuary was suddenly shattered when Naomi was attacked. Miraculously, she survived her 17 stab wounds and lived to identify the man who hurt her. The girl's testimony put away a serial killer, wanted for murdering 6 women. They were heroes, and they were liars. For decades, the friends have kept a secret that might be worth killing for, hidden in the forest. But now, Olivia wants to tell the whole story. Then she goes missing, and Naomi sets out to find out what really happened in the woods, no matter how dangerous the truth turns out to be. I am so excited for this one. It's gorgeous. It's the first genre that I really ever fell in love with reading as an adult, so I'm really excited for that one. And then we have The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. On a quiet street in Dublin, a lost bookshop is waiting to be found. For too long, Ophelia, Martha, and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives. But when a vanishing bookshop casts its spell, these 3 unsuspecting strangers will discover that their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. By unlocking the secrets of the shelves, they find themselves transporting to a world of wonder where nothing is as it seems. Sounds like a cute, like, I don't know what kind of book to describe this as, but it just sounds awesome. The foiling is also really a nice touch on the front with the leaves right there. It's like gold foil, and the lettering up top. How far will you go to find your story? Really excited to get to this one. And then we have Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman, I think is how you say that. It just looks so spooky. I love a good horror book. A chilling horror novel about a haunting told from the perspective of a young girl whose troubled family is targeted by an entity she calls Other Mommy. Like, good. This will probably be on my around the October time TBR because I love a good horror book, and this just seems like it'd be the perfect fit to read around Halloween, so that's probably when I will get to this one. Really excited for it, though. And then we have this, The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein. Exquisitely disturbing, a beautiful tapestry of horror sewn together with threads of madness, obsession, and murder. Like, and it's a little stack of a book, too. Less than 300 pages. Says Elizabeth Lavenza hasn't had a proper meal in weeks. Her thin arms are covered with bruises from her caregiver, and she is on the verge of being thrown into the streets until she is brought to the home of Victor Frankenstein, an unsmiling, solitary boy who has everything except a friend. Victor is her escape from misery. Elizabeth Elizabeth does everything she can to make herself indispensable, and it works. She is taken in by the Frankenstein family and rewarded with a warm bed, delicious food, and dresses of the finest silk. Soon she and Victor are inseparable. But her new life comes at a price. As the years pass, Elizabeth's survival depends on managing Victor's dangerous temper and indulging his every whim, no matter how depraved. Behind her blue eyes and sweet smile lies the calculating heart of a girl determined to stay alive no matter the cost, as the world she knows is consumed by darkness. Like, I do love a good Frankenstein type of retelling, so I'm excited to see where this goes. That's all I'm going to say about that one. And then this gorgeous thing right here is a small little snackable book. It's a Once Upon a Tattoo by Jay Fields. And it says, Ren, my dreams are finally coming true. I've got my own tattoo shop and my best gal pals by my side. The only thing that would make everything better is if I could buy the building next door so I can grow my business even more. But the devastatingly handsome, infuriating owner continues to distract me both physically and emotionally, breaking down my carefully crafted walls to keep people at a distance. It is time to admit that maybe I have a bigger dream than I even realized. Brooks. My grandpa passing away was inevitable, but leaving me his bookstore was never part of my plans. When I see the crumbling building for the first time, the effort to bring it back to life is more than I signed up for. But ready to have the place fixed up and get back to my dream job as a professor, I don't expect to be derailed by the feisty, raven-haired tattoo goddess next door. As our relationship shifts and my bookstore blossoms, I wonder, could I have been wrong about what's truly important in my life? So it's like a contemporary romance, and this cover is so cute. I'm so excited to get to this. It's a short read. Literally, again, less than 300 pages. This is so cute. This one I got in my last month's reveal book box. And it's so cute. I love it. I'm so excited to get to this one. It's just gorgeous. That's all I gotta say about that one. And then we have, this is one that I plan on reading kind of around Valentine's. It's Love's a Witch by Trisha O'Malley. And guys, this sprayed edges is gorgeous. Like, I love the little dog down at the bottom is so cute. This one is, she's hexed, he's vexed. And for Scotland's most magical small town, their feud might just spell disaster. Sloane McGregor swore she'd never return to Brerehaven, but with her 25th birthday looming, the day witches come into their magic, her grandmother summons her back for one tiny task: break the centuries-old curse haunting their bloodline. Knox Douglas, Brerehaven's grumpy mayor, has worked tirelessly to make his town a haven for magical folk. The last thing he needs is a cursed McGregor wreaking havoc. It doesn't matter, he once crushed on her. For the sake of Brerehaven, Sloane has to go. But magic has other plans, and in Brerehaven, love really is a witch. Like, this cover is gorgeous. And the fact that he's in a kilt, I can't wait for the spice that is going to be in this book. I'm so excited. The freaking sprayed edges are absolutely gorgeous. Like, cannot wait to read this very soon. Next month, actually. And then we have We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinborough. This one is also a gorgeous cover. It's got some gorgeous sprayed edges as well. This one is, let's see, a riveting modern gothic, full of the clever twists and surprises that have become Sarah Pinborough's trademark. After an accident that nearly killed her, Emily and her husband Freddie moved from London to a beautiful Dartmoor country house called Larkin Lodge. The house is gorgeous, striking, and to Emily, something about it feels deeply wrong. Old boards creak at night, fires go out, and books fall from the shelves, and all of it stems from the terrible presence she feels in the third-floor bedroom. But these things happen only when Emily's alone, so are they happening at all? She's still medically fragile. Her post-sepsis condition can cause hallucinatory side effects, which means she can't fully trust her own senses. Freddie doesn't notice anything odd and is happy with their chance at a fresh start. Emily, however, starts to believe that the house is being haunted by someone who was murdered in it. Though she can find no evidence of a wrongful death, bizarre events pile up and her marriage starts to crumble. Emily becomes obsessed with discovering the truth about Larkin Lodge. But if the house has secrets, so do Emily and her husband, and they live there now. Or they live here now. Like, I'm so excited. I love a good spooky house book. Like, in the cover, that's, again, devastatingly gorgeous. The house on the top with the crows, the red. I love it, and I cannot wait to read this. And then we have these two absolutely gorgeous books, not by the same author, just wanted to grab them. This is Frida McFadden's The Intruder. This one also has some gorgeous sprayed edges. It says, "What is she hiding?" And then there is the top and the bottom. This one, as you all know, everything by Frida McFadden seems to get really high praise, so I'm excited for it. Cannot wait to get to this one. And the edges, they just gorgeous. And I love the fact that it has, "What is she hiding?" on the side. I can't wait to discover what she's hiding. And then we have the first two books in the Lightlark series. This is the Dueling Crowns edition. So you've got Oro on the front there, and then Grimm on the back. And let me tell you guys, I'm so freaking excited to get to this book. Like, it is gorgeous. Like, so there is the Grimm side. Like, just look at that. And then the end pages are gorgeous. Like, you guys, I am really so seriously excited for this. Like, I love it. It's gorgeous. And then there is the Oro side right here. Again, gorgeous artwork on the inside. Really excited to get to this. Like, let's see if I can get to the other art page on this side. But, like, look at that. It's just awesome. And then the sprayed edges on this book alone are gorgeous. I'm so excited to get into this. And I've seen videos of the author going out to stores and, like, signing books and stuff. So that just makes me want to read it more. Because I love when they do that. I love that kind of, like, self-promotion. Okay, this is backwards. There we go, I think. I don't know how to put this back in together the proper way. Nope. Bro. Guys, I'm confused. Okay. There we go. I'll just do it. I had this the right way once. Upside down for the moment. There we go. It's back together. We'll call that good. Okay. And I'm going to pause this for a second, go grab a drink. We'll come back and we'll start these lovely paperbacks back here. Alright, guys. So like I said, that was the end of my TBR list. We're going to get into the paperbacks now, which are some books that I'm also very excited to add to my TBR eventually. Some of them I've already read, kind of deal. So we'll start with this little stack here. This one I ended up getting in a blind date with a book. It's called Plot Twist. It's like a rom-com. It looks super cute. And there's the back if you guys would like to read it. But I'm really excited to get to this one because I love me a good rom-com. This one is romance author Sophie Lyon's ironic secret just went viral. She's never been in love, and it's ruining her reputation. With a manuscript deadline looming, Sophie makes an ambitious plan to overcome her writer's block, reunite with her exes, including her last girlfriend Carla, the one person she could have loved, to learn why she's never fallen in love and document it for all her millions of new online followers. Luckily, Sophie's reclusive landlord Dash Montrose, a former teen heartthrob, has social media all figured out and is willing to help. What he doesn't mention is that he's an anonymous online crafter, a hobby that helps him maintain his sobriety. No one knows about his complicated relationship with alcohol, and with a family that's Hollywood royalty, Dash has to steer clear of scandal. As Sophie and Dash grow closer, they discover a heat between them that rivals Dash's pottery kiln. But Sophie needs to figure out who she is outside her relationships, and Dash isn't sure he's stable enough for the commitment she deserves. So Sophie suggests what any good romance author would: a friends with benefits arrangement. Surely a strictly casual relationship won't cause any trouble. And I'm gonna bet that it does cause some trouble. And I'm excited to get to that book. And then the next one is one I found on a free bookshelf in town. This one is Love and Other Consolation Prizes by Jamie Ford. I've heard good things about this one. I do need to find a better copy of it though, because this one apparently has some water damage. But it looks and it sounds like it's going to be a really good book. The cover is cute. I love it. It may end up getting traded out for a better copy at some point, because it is a bit water damaged, but I'm excited to read it. And then another one that I found on a free bookshelf. This is Sense and Sensibility by Spencer Quinn. One of my favorite books. I loved it. If you haven't read it, 10 out of 10, recommend it. It's great. I love Spencer Quinn books. I have a dog on it as well, which I loved that one. It's a story told from the perspective of the dog. But this is also a great book. 10 out of 10. Recommend. And then we have In a Dark Wood by Ruth Ware, which I've heard really good things about. Or In a Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. I've heard really good things about the books, so when I saw it on the free bookshelf, I grabbed it, and it will eventually make the way into the TBR. But I've heard really good things about her books. I also really want to read The Woman in Cabin 10. I've heard great things about that one too, so I'm excited for this one. Then we have the only copy I found of this in a long time. The last one I ended up unfortunately losing when I was moving, but this one is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. If you haven't read To Kill a Mockingbird, you've been living under a rock. Time to come out of it and read the book. It's great. Just read it. I loved it when I was in school, loved it as an adult, and will love it when I eventually do the reread of it. So, 10 out of 10. If you haven't read it, crawl out from under that rock and read the book. Let's see. Well, where are we gonna start? We should just start here. Why not? We'll pull out these first four. We have The Lake by Natasha Preston. This one sounds great as well. It's Esme and Kayla once were campers at Camp Pine Lake. Now they're back as counselors in training. Esme loves the little girls in her cabin and thinks it's funny how scared they are of everything. The woods, the bugs, the boys, even swimming in the lake. It reminds her of how she and Kayla used to be before, because Esme and Kayla did something terrible when they were campers. Something they've kept a secret all these years. They vow that this summer will be awesome. 2 months of sun, s'mores, and flirting with the cute boy counselors. But when they get a message, the lake never forgets. The secret they've kept, buried for so many years, is about to resurface. What's their secret? And I can't wait to find out what that secret is. So, then we have this one, which is another recent acquire. It's Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pecile, I think is how you say that. I could be wrong. This one is, it's been 1 year since graduation, and Patrice Hartley has mixed feelings about joining her friends at a weekend reunion. She's right to be worried. After a night out, they narrowly avoid a collision with a car on a desert road, or so they believe. Back at the mansion where they are staying, a mysterious man knocks on the door during a raging storm. He tells them that they must make a choice. One of them will live and the rest will die, and the decision must be unanimous. Soon time backbends, and Patrice and her friends are forced to repeat that dreadful day so many times they lose count. With each replay, events, twists, and fears come alive in horrifying ways. This nightmare, this nothingness, this is the Neverworld wake. To escape, they must have to vote. But how do they choose who to kill, and then how do you live with yourself? Like, gonna love it. Just gonna say that much. I already have a great feeling about this book. Probably gonna end up loving it. And then we have these two books here. I absolutely love these books. We have James Patterson and Gabrielle Charbonnet, I think is how you say that. Crazy House. And then we have James Patterson's The Fall of Crazy House. If you guys have not read this little, like, duology, get on it. It is so good, guys. Like, 10 out of 10. The Prison Escape. I love it. It's such a good little set of books, guys. 10 out of 10. Especially if you love James Patterson, or James Patterson, like, sponsored, co-written type books. Read the Crazy House duology. Do it. It ended up probably being my favorite reads in 2024, to be honest. I loved these books. Let's see here. We'll do these ones. First one, Where the Crawdads Sing. Probably my favorite slow burn book of all time. This one is by Delilah Owens. I watched the movie first. I did do that. And then I read the book. And let me tell you that they are both amazing. If you haven't read the book, but you've watched the movie and you love the movie, read the book, because it's only going to make you love the movie more. Like, damn. Just read it. Like, it's a slow burn, but it's a good burn. I love this book. Could not recommend it enough. And then we have right here, which is one that I'm really interested to get into. It's The Talk Funny Girl. This one is, in rural New Hampshire, teenage girls have been disappearing, snatched from backcountry roads, never to be seen alive again. For 17-year-old Marjorie Richards, the fear raised by these abductions is the backdrop to what she lives with her own home. Marjorie's parents are so intentionally isolated from society that they have developed their own dialect, a kind of mountain hybrid of English that displays their disdain for the wider world. Tormented by her classmates, Marjorie is known as the Talk Funny Girl. As the nearby factory town sinks deeper into economic ruin and her parents fall under the influence of a cult leader, her options for escape dwindle until she is hired by a man, himself a victim of abuse, who is building what he calls a cathedral in the center of town. Through exposure to this world beyond her parents' cabin, she discovers what is lovable within herself. By turns darkly menacing and bright with resilience, The Talk Funny Girl is the story of one young woman's remarkable courage, a roadmap for the healing of child abuse, and a testament to the power of kindness and love. I am really intrigued by this premise, and super excited to get to this book. It says winner of an Alla Alex Award. That was really hard to say. And then we have Yann Martel, Life of Pi. Love the book, love the movie. If you haven't read it, highly recommend that you guys do. Such a great book. And the cover is just gorgeous. The book and the movie, both amazing. If you haven't watched the movie or read the book, read the book first and then go and watch the movie. 10 out of 10 recommend. And then we have this book, which I just found out is actually part of a 4-series set of books. This one is Stalking Jack the Ripper. I am so excited to get into this. I love a good true crime stalker book, especially one that's kind of loosely based on like things that have actually happened. So I'm excited to get into this series. I didn't know it was a series until literally earlier today, but I'm excited for it. And then we have one of my other favorite devastating books. This one is The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. And it is technically a part of like a series, but you can also read it as a standalone. I recommend reading this book, guys. It is, I'd give it a good solid 4 stars on Goodreads. I loved this book so much. Could not recommend it enough if you like books based on historical devastation. This is a good one. I loved it. And then, let's see. Oh my gosh. We have The End of the Ocean by Maja Lund, I think is how you say that. I could be completely butchering it, but this one is, Signe is a survivor. She has everything she needs. Her trusty sailboat, the clothes on her back, and the conviction that she has sacrificed her life for the greater good. And now she plans to make her final stand, carrying a precious cargo across the water to confront the guiltiest man she knows, Magnus, her first love. Years later, a young father, David, and his daughter, Lou, are in the midst of a horrific drought. They have been forced to flee their home after a fire, becoming separated from David's wife and their infant son. In their fraught travel to reunite with their loved ones and find safety, they come across Signe's abandoned sailboat miles away from the nearest shore. As David and Lou search through Signe's belongings, their journey, animated by hope and the will to survive, weaves together with Signe's to form a heart-wrenching, inspiring story about devastation, change, and the tenacity of the human spirit. And that cover is gorgeous. Like, so excited for this one. The little blurb on the front says, "A father, a daughter, and a journey that begins where the water ends." And I love just the cover. It's gorgeous. And then up next we have one of my most favorite reads of all time. This is When by Victoria Laurie. It's about a girl in high school and she can see people's death dates floating above their head. And she ends up getting caught up in like this like murder type of thing. I'll just read you the back. Maddie doesn't have a choice. The forehead of every person she sees is marked by the shadowy digits of their death date. Her unique, innate skill often feels more like a curse than a gift, and Maddie grudgingly puts it to use, identifying death dates for paying customers her mother reels in. It seems like a straightforward way to help support her family until one client's young son goes missing on the exact date Maddie has pinpointed, and she gets pulled into a homicide investigation that turns her world upside down. As more young people disappear and are later found murdered, suspicion swirls around Maddie. At once a suspect in the investigation, a target for the murderer, and a partner in a tantalizing dance with a boy who might be connected to it all, could Maddie also hold the key to cracking the case? This perfectly plotted, high-stakes, fast-paced thriller marks New York Times best-selling author Victoria Laurie's YA debut and brings with depth, heart, action, and romance. Like 10 out of 10, guys. Just read the book. It's freaking amazing. Like, that's all I could say about this. And I'm sorry, guys, but this second half of this shelf tour thing is gonna be a long one, like longer than the first. So please bear with me if you've made it this far. Subscribe, do all the good things, especially if you like my chaotic videos like this. I do a lot of shorts, getting into the long form videos. They're gonna be chaos. They're gonna be fun. So if you like stuff like this, please go ahead and subscribe. But anyways, up next we have 7 Days, 3 Families, 1 Killer, The Holiday by T.J. Logan. This one is Kate suspects that her husband is having an affair and that the other woman is one of her best friends. One of these women is willing to sacrifice years of friendship and destroy her family, but which one? As Kate closes in on the truth, she realizes too late that the stakes are far higher than she ever imagined. This one could end up being an unhaul, but I will give it a chance. We shall see. It is quite a big one. Big one, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. How many pages is like the actual book? It is well over 400 pages, so that's a good thing. A good long one, but it may end up being an unhaul. We shall see, but I will eventually get to it and give it a chance. And then we have this one, which I am super excited to get into this series eventually. This is The God of Malice, The Legacy of Gods series by Rhea Kent. I've heard great things about this book, and it's probably one that's going to be very quickly added to my TBR. Not gonna lie. I am ridiculously excited for this book. And the whole series, to be honest. I've heard amazing things about it. It says, Killian Carson is a predator wrapped in sophisticated charm. He's cold-blooded, manipulative, and vicious, though his charisma and intelligence fool everyone. Glendon sees right through him. She sees the psychopath within, and though her brain tells her to run, there's a secret part of her that knows the monster will only chase her, and she may want to get caught. Like, I am so excited to read this, guys. I love a good psycho romance, and this sounds like it's going to be right up my alley, so I'm very excited for this one. And then we have, let's see here. Oh, we got the Stephen King. We got the It. It's a big boy. And I read through this in high school. It was one of my favorite books. Do I want to try reading through it again with its, over thousands of pages? Probably not, but I do love Stephen King, and I had to have this because the cover is gorgeous. Like, it's simple. It's the clown face with the blood and it, and I absolutely loved it. The spine is amazing too. Like, I'm just glad to have a copy of it in my collection again. Especially this cover is sick. I love it. If you haven't read it and you like a good long wordy book, It by Stephen King. Just do it. Like, even though the made-for-TV movie with Tim Curry was long, that book puts that to shame. And even the one with Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise was great, but again, the book puts it to shame in length and description and all the details. So I recommend it if you like reading long books and you haven't read that one yet. Let's see. Oh my god. Okay, we got another little stacky poo here of books. We have The Shining by Stephen King. Again, one of my favorites by Stephen King. If you haven't read it, read it. It is one of his smaller books, so it is kind of an attainable goal. I may end up rereading this one because I did love it the first time I read it when I was 17. So, great book. May end up rereading it again at some point. And then we have right here, this is The Crooked House by Cristobal Kent. A taut psychological thriller loaded with mood and a puzzle tricky enough to keep you guessing to the final page by the Washington Post. It sounds like it could be interesting. It could end up being an unhaul. Like, the cover gives me spooky vibes. I love that. But we shall see how this one goes. I haven't heard a lot of things about it. If you guys have read it, give me some good spoiler-free reviews. May end up moving it to the top or closer to the TBR final list stack of stuff, I guess. If I get some good non-spoilery reviews. So if you guys have read it, leave me one. And then we have, up next, we have The Dead House by Dawn Kurtagich, I think. I butchered that. I love this cover. It's freaking gorgeous. And it says on the back, it says, 2 decades have passed since an inferno claimed the lives of 3 teenagers and caused Carly Johnson to disappear. The main suspect, Caitlin, the girl of nowhere, Caitlin's diary, discovered in the ruins of Elmbridge High, reveals the thoughts of a disturbed mind, but many claim Caitlin doesn't exist. And in a way, she doesn't, because she is the alter ego of Carly Johnson. Debut author Dawn Kurtagich masterfully weaves together a thrilling and terrifying story using psychiatric reports, witness testimonials, video footage, and discovered diary. And as the mystery grows, the horrifying truth about what happened the night of the fire unfolds. So, I'm excited to get to this one. It sounds like it could be really good. And then we have this one, which came with the brain failing, the tattoo book in my reveal book box. This was the second book that came with it. This one is Saltier. It's part of the Fire Island series. This is book 1 by Hazel Jacks. I am so excited to get into this one. I've heard good things about it. It says Pen. I didn't go looking for her, but I wanted her from the moment we met. To know her, to have her, even just for a night, until I found out how old she was. That should have been it. The end. She was too young and far too good for me. She had everything, and I had nothing to offer. Still, all I wanted was her. Before I realized what was happening, I was in way too deep. One summer was all we could have, a stolen season that would glimmer in my memory like a fragment of starlight stolen and tucked away. A love that would color every song I ever wrote from then on. Love didn't matter, though. It wasn't enough. Not for a girl like Reagan. The only way to give her what she deserved was to break her heart and mine. Reagan. All I wanted was a summer fling. It was the last summer I'd spend on Fire Island. Before moving across the country for college, I wasn't looking for anything serious. I wasn't looking for love. But then I met Penn. He wasn't like anyone I've ever known, and he wasn't the playboy he pretended to be. He was sweet and caring, drop-dead gorgeous, and it didn't hurt that he was a musician. He made me feel like I was all that mattered to him. He became my entire world in a matter of weeks. I'd been coming to the seaside community on Fire Island from New York City for years, in the summers, but this summer everything felt different. Everything was different. Because of him, and this summer I didn't want to leave. I gave him my heart, my body, my soul. I was willing to give him my future too, but it wasn't enough. Devastating, contemporary romance, okay. I'm gonna have to mentally prepare myself for this one, because it's probably gonna break my heart too. But I am excited for Saltier. Or for Saltaire. Yeah, that's how I think how you say it, is Saltaire. But I'm so excited for this, guys. I love a good devastating romance. Romances don't always have to end on a happy ending or a cliffhanger. They can be devastating and sad. And I am excited for this. And then let's see. We have The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I loved the Netflix series, so I know I'm going to love this one when I get to it. If you haven't watched the Netflix series, I recommend it. I cannot wait to get to the book. I am super excited for this. So, if you've read it and you ended up liking it better than the show, let me know. And then up next, we have a book by Tupelo Hassman. It's Girl Child. A voice as fresh as hers is so rare that at times I caught myself cheering. I'd go anywhere with this writer. Is the quote on the front. And it says, this is one I found on a free bookshelf too. This one is this one was a Christmas gift, not a free bookshelf. Rory Hendricks, the least likely of Girl Scouts, hasn't got a troop or a badge to call her own, but she still borrows the handbook from the elementary school library to pore over its advice, looking for tips to get off the cow. The Reno Trailer Park where she lives with her mother, Jo, the sweet-faced, hard-luck bartender at the truck stop. Rory's been told she is one of the third-generation bastards, surely on the road to whoredom, and she's determined to break the cycle as Rory struggles with her mother's habit of trusting the wrong men, the mixed blessing of being too smart for her own good. She finds refuge in books and language, from diary entries, social workers' reports, story problems, arrest records, family lore, and her grandmother's letters. Rory crafts a devastating collage that shows us her world while she searches for a way out of it. It sounds really good. We shall see how it goes with this one. That's all I can say about that. Then we have another one of my all-time favorite reads. This is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. If you have not read this book, go read it. Please. Please. Just, Pony Boy. Come on. Read the book. If you love the movie, read the book. Trust me. The book is 10,000 times better. And the movie is still great, but the book is way better than the movie. Like, just read the book if you haven't. And then we have a book that I really need to desperately find a better copy of. This is Les Miserables, or Les Mis, by Victor Hugo. If you haven't read this, crawl out from under the rock, read the book. It's a thick one, but it is so worth it, and I really desperately need to find a better copy of it. I've had this copy since I was in, high school, so it has been through some stuff, but I love this book. 10 out of 10. If you haven't read it, I don't recommend it enough. Read the book. Let's see. Up next, we have The Book Thief by Marcus Zask. I always mispronounce that. But this is a modern classic. I love this book. 10 out of 10. If you haven't read it, go read the book. Great book. Over 19 million copies sold. Read the book. It's good. Even if you don't think it's going to be up your alley, just give it a chance. Up next, we have one that I'm also kind of excited to read. It's called Mother, Mother by Corinne Zelakas, I think is how you say that. It says, Josephine Hurst has her family under control, with 2 beautiful daughters, a brilliantly intelligent son, a tech guru of a husband, and a historical landmark home. Her life is picture perfect, but living in this matriarch's determinedly cheerful yet subtly controlling domain hasn't been easy for her family, and when her oldest daughter, Rose, runs off with a mysterious boyfriend, Josephine tightens her grip, gradually turning her flawless home into a dark sort of prison. Resentful of her sister's newfound freedom, Violet turns to Eastern philosophy, hallucinogenic drugs, and extreme fasting, eventually landing herself in a psych ward. Meanwhile, her brother Will, recently diagnosed with Asperger's, shrinks further into a world of self-doubt. Their father, Douglas, finds resolve in the bottom of a bottle. An addict craving his own chance to escape, Josephine struggles to maintain the family's impeccable facade, but when a violent incident leads to a visit from Child Protective Services, the truth about the Hearst family may finally be revealed. Horrific mother type of book. Sounds amazing to me. Cannot wait to read. Let's see. And then we have 2 books in the Fifth Wave series. We have the first one, The Fifth Wave, and then we have the second one, The Infinite Sea. Read the Fifth Wave, have not read the second one. Need to get on it, ASAP, because I did really enjoy the first one. The movie sucked. Don't watch the Fifth Wave movie. Read the book. The book is 10,000 times better. and I cannot wait to get to the second one. Don't watch the movie, read the book. The book is way better than the movie. Like, just, yeah, one of those instances where the movie kind of sucks compared to the book. Let's see here. We have this one, which sounds like it could end up being on haul at some point, but I'm going to give it a chance. It's Never Say Never by Lisa Wingate. It sounds like a contemporary kind of westerny romance thing, or small town romance. It says sometimes life storms blow in unexpected possibilities. Never say never. Kai Miller floats through life like driftwood tossed by waves. She's never put down roots, and she doesn't plan to. But when a chaotic hurricane evacuation lands her in Daly, Texas, she begins to think twice about her wayfaring existence. And when she meets hometown boy Kemp Elridge, she can almost picture settling down in Daly, until she discovers he may be promised to someone else. Daly has always been a welcoming place of refuge for those the wind blows in, but for Kai it looks like it will just be just another place to leave behind. Then again, Daly always has a few surprises in store, especially when Aunt Donetta Bradford has cooked up a scheme. It could be good. Could be a unhaul. We shall see. When I get to it. And then we have Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walter. This one, the cover is gorgeous. I don't know much about the book, but I cannot wait to read it. Excited to get to it at some point. And then we have Bewitched by Laura Thalassa. God, I'm so bad at last names. But this is the Bewitched series, book 1. It's something I'm super excited to get into. Sounds like fantasy romance, right up my alley. At age 20, Celine Bowers desperately hopes to be accepted into Henbane Coven, an academy for young witches, since one of the requirements for entry is to connect with her powers via a quest through the wilderness. Celine books a trip to South America. When a nefarious supernatural force tries to drag her plane from the sky, Celine's magic awakens to save her life at a cost. Using her powers, devours her memories one by one. Worse, when Selena braves the jungle and discovers the source of the attack, she finds herself awakening an ancient evil, Menon the Cursed, who mistakes Selena for his long-dead wife, the wife who betrayed him. Celine manages to escape and begin her studies at Henbane, but when Memnon turns up at the coven and witches are found dead across campus, Celine becomes entangled in a dangerous plot, accused of the murders on the basis of her memory loss. Celine must rely on Memnon's help for answers, and his plans for her will change everything. So it sounds like a spooky, witchy, fantasy, kind of romancy book, maybe. I'm excited to get to it. I totally butchered reading that, though. But then, up next we have one of my all-time favorites. It's The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. Like, read the book and watch the movies. Both are amazing. Love The Hobbit. Want to eventually get all of J.R.R. Tolkien's books, but I really love this one. The Hobbit is great. Just read it. And then we have The Illusionists by Rosie Thomas. This is the advanced reader's copy. Don't know when it was published in 2014. But this is the advanced reader's copy. So it sounds like it could be a good one. It says, over the course of a brilliant career, best-selling novelist Rosie Thomas has earned an untold number of awards and the devotion of millions of loyal readers. Her new novel, The Illusionist, set in London in 1870, is a thrilling step forward, a captivating tale of passion and intrigue in the theater world. At the start of The Illusionist, we meet Eliza, a young, beautiful woman of limited means. Through her work as an artist model, she meets the magnetic and irrescribable Devil, a born showman whose dream is to run his own theater company. Devil's right-hand man in Carlo something something something. It could end up being a unhaul. We shall see. I'll give it a chance. Like I said, I'm not really too big on a lot of historically based books. So we shall see. It looks really good though. Like the cover looks amazing. So this may or may not end up being an unhaul book at some point, but I will give it a chance. Like I said, I give every book a chance. Let's see here. We will do these ones next, I guess. We have The Nurse's Secret by Amanda Skenendor, I think is how you say that. Again, I love books themed around hospitals. I work as a CNA. I'm studying to be a nurse. And I am excited to read this. Like, the cover alone, The Nurse's Secret, like, come on. Set in the 1880s, New York, and based on the little-known story of America's first nursing school. Acclaimed author Amanda Skenendor's new historical novel is a fascinating story of one woman's search for identity and independence. In the slums of 1880s New York, Una Kelly has grown up to be a rough-and-tumble grifter, able to flitch a pocketbook in seconds flat, but when another con woman pins her for a murder she didn't commit, Una is forced to flee. Running from the police, Una lies her way into an unlikely refuge, the nursing school at Bellevue Hospital. Based on Florence Nightingale's nursing principles, Bellevue is the first school of its kind in the country. Where once nurses were assumed to be ignorant and unskilled, Bellevue prizes discipline, intellect, and moral character, and the only young woman of good breeding apply. At first, Una balks at her prim classmates and the doctor's endless commands, yet life in the streets has prepared her for the horrors of injury and disease found on the wards, and she slowly gains friendship and self-respect. Just as she finds her footing, Una's suspicions about a patient's death put her at risk of exposure, and will force her to choose between her instincts for self-preservation and exposing her identity in order to save others. Like, I'm excited for this one. I really am. Like, even though it is like a historical type of book, I am really excited for it just because it's like nursing hospital themed, I guess. But I can't wait to get to it. And then we have another Simone St. James book here. This one is An Inquiry into Love and Death. And I am so excited to read this because I loved The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. One of my favorite reads from like 2024. Have it up here. It was in the first video. Let's see. This one is Oxford student Gillian Lee works day and night to keep up with her studies, so to leave at the beginning of the term is next to impossible, but after her uncle Toby, a renowned ghost hunter, is killed in a fall off a cliff, she must drive to seaside village of Rothwell to pick up his belongings. Also, almost immediately, unsettling incidents, a book left in a cold stove, a gate swinging open on its own, escalate into terrifying events that convince Gillian an angry spirit is trying to enter the house. Is it Walking John, the two-headed 200-year-old ghost who haunts Blood Moon Bay, and who besides the ghost is roaming the local woods at night? If Toby uncovered something sinister, was his death no accident? The arrival of handsome Scotland Yard Inspector Drew Merkin, a former RAF pilot with mysteries of his own, leaves Gillian with more questions than answers, and with the added complication of a powerful mutual attraction. Even as she suspects someone will do anything to hide the truth, she begins to discover spine-chilling secrets that lie deep within Rothwell and at the very heart of who she is. I cannot wait to get to this one. It's a little snackable book. Again, one that is a little just over 300 pages, but it looks and it sounds amazing. I can't wait to get to it. And then we have The Dead Enders This one has been on and off my TBR list for so long, I just need to get to it. It kind of gives me like murdery Breakfast Club vibes. It says, in a place like Gold Fork, sometimes a secret is the only thing that's really yours. Anna, Davis, Eric, and Georgie know that best. Bound together by a horrible tragedy from their past, they found a friendship that has lasted through high school. In a town full of weekenders, they all know what it's like to be dead-enders, fated to stay trapped in a tourist destination for the rest of their lives. But with the appearance of a long-lost family members and arsonists setting the town ablaze, it's time to confront the fact that what brought them together years ago might be what ultimately tears them apart, because someone is keeping one last secret, a truth that could change everything. And like I said, this one's been on and off my TBR for so long that it needs to go back into it and get read. I need to stop procrastinating, because it sounds like it could be right up my alley, but it just keeps getting alternated out. Unfortunately. Need to get to it. Excuse me. Need a drink here. And then we have one of my favorites. This is Hamlet by Shakespeare. It is like the playwritten style version, so in the poor broken cover, I need the poor spine. This book has been with me for so long, again, since high school, but I love this book. 10 out of 10. If you haven't read it, do it. Same with this one. This is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. If you haven't read this book, if you weren't required to read it in high school, it is good. It's probably one I would not reread, but I've again had this book since I was in high school. Great books. Love them both. If you haven't read them, please do. Let's see here. Up next, we'll do these ones, and then we'll be almost dish done. We've still got this shelf to go through, and this is already an hour and a half long, so please bear with me, guys. This may end up being like a 2-hour video. And if you made it this far, I love you. I appreciate you. Please subscribe. I'm trying to work on making videos, doing all the good stuff, having fun with it, being chaotic. Anyways, this is, again, the first book in the Wayward Son series. This one is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Guys, if you love Harry Potter, but you're very mad at J.K. Rowling for being a psychopath, read this. This is LGBTQ Harry Potter on steroids. I love this book so freaking much. The series is amazing. Like, I'll read the back of this one since it is the first one in the series. It said, excuse me. Simon Snow is the worst chosen one who's ever been chosen. That's what his roommate, Boz, says, and Boz might be evil and a vampire and a complete git, but he's probably right. Half the time, Simon can't even make his wand work, and the other half, he sets something on fire. His mentor's avoiding him, his girlfriend broke up with him, and there's a magic-eating monster running around wearing Simon's face. Baz would be having a field day with all of this if he were here. It's their last year at the Watford School of Magics, and Simon's infuriating nemesis didn't even bother to show up. Carry On is a ghost story, a love story, a mystery. It has just as much kissing and talking as you'd expect from a Rainbow Rowell novel, but far more monsters. Guys, read this book. If you are a Harry Potter fan and you're pissed off at J.K. Rowling for being a shitty, excuse the language, human being, read this book. Just do it. Okay? That's all I gotta say. Read the book. Up next we have One Was Lost by Natalie D. Richards. She's the author of 6 Months Later and Gone Too Far, both books that I want to find eventually and read because I've heard they're really good. This one is One Was Lost. Someone was here. We were sleeping and they were in our tent. Oh God, my heart trips itself and then races. What the hell happened to us? Lucas asks. They did it to you. They did it to you too, Emily says. We all turn to her. Your word is different. What? He never finishes, because when he turns his left wrist up, we all see the letters like an ornate tattoo. Deceptive. Emily lifts her wrist. Damaged. Lucas checks his and snorts. Of course. Dangerous. My turn. I swallow against the lump in my throat, and it goes down hard, bruises my insides, and my word is darling. While on a mandatory senior field trip, a flash flood cuts off Sarah and 3 classmates from their group with no way to call for help. But they're not alone, as they thought. Someone is stalking them through the woods, drugging them, stealing their supplies, and riding on their skin. Is it judgment? A warning? As their hunter grows bolder, these clues may be Sarah's only way to survival. I can't wait to read this. It sounds so good. I love anything set in a spooky kind of campy video or booky type thing. And then we have 2 books by Vincent Ralph. And I believe they're part of a series. I could be wrong, but this is Secrets Never Die and Lock the Doors. I've heard good things. I've heard he leans more towards like the YA type of genre, so I'm kind of interested to see how that goes. But these seem like they could be really, really good, so I'm excited. And the covers are gorgeous. If you've read either of these, let me know, because I'm excited to get to them. Even though they kind of, from what I've heard, seem like they have a bit of a YA vibe. I'm not against it. So if you read them and you enjoyed them, or if you read them and you didn't enjoy them, leave me a spoiler-free review, because I have not heard much about this author or these books, so I'm excited to eventually get to them. Let's see here. We have After That Night by Karen Slaughter. This one is GBI investigator Will Trent and medical examiner Sarah Linton are back in an electrifying thriller from New York Times bestselling author Karen Slaughter. So it looks like this is the second book in a series, so I might have to find out what the first one is before I read this one. But it sounds like it could be a good series to get into, so I'm excited for that. Alright, so we are moving on to the shelf, which means we're about over halfway done. Woohoo! Okay. So this one is The Wrong Heart by Jennifer Hartman. I've heard amazing things about this book, and I need to get it in my TBR list, like, now. But, this is Melody March had her future all planned out, and it was a fairy tale. Then, one of her 5-year wedding anniversary, her dreams shattered. Her husband was cruelly ripped away from her, leaving her broken heart behind. But he left another heart behind, too. His. Drowning in grief, Melody reaches out to her husband's heart recipient and seeks solace in a support group for fellow lost souls. She's determined to find the bright, optimistic woman she used to be and the man with the only remaining piece of her husband. But she doesn't expect what else awaits her. Enter Parker, dark, brooding, and emotionally detached. He's Melody's opposite in every way, yet she's inexplicably drawn to him. But as their bond burns brighter, so do the secrets that come to light, challenging everything they thought they knew about love, loss, grief, and hope. Melody already lost her heart once. Now another heart holds the power to heal her or destroy her. This sounds like a devastating romance, and I am so for it. So I'm very excited. The cover is gorgeous. It will shortly end up in my TBR stack. Not just on the TBR shelf, that is my bookshelf. But I'm excited for this, guys. I've heard great things. If you've read it, leave me a spoiler-free review. You know the drill kind of thing. This one may end up being an unhaul at some point, but this is Moth Smoke by Mohsin Hamid, I think is how you say that. It says, when Daru Shahzad is fired from his banking job in Lahore, he begins a decline that plummets the length of his sharply drawn, subversive tale. Before long, he can't pay his bills, loses his toehold among Pakistan's elite. It might end up being an unhaul. We shall see. But I will give it a chance. And then we have this one here. I need to get into this book. I've heard really, really good things about it. It's Your Driver is Waiting by Priya Guns. It says, Damani is tired. Her father just died on the job at a fast food joint, and now she lives paycheck to paycheck in a basement, caring for her mom and driving for an app that is constantly cutting her take. The city is roiling in protest. Everybody's in solidarity with somebody, but while she keeps hearing that they're fighting for change on behalf of people like her, she literally can't afford to pay attention. Then she gives a ride to Jolene. 5 stars, obviously. Jolene seems like she could be the perfect girlfriend. Attentive, attractive, and ally, and their chemistry is off the charts. Jolene's done the reading. She goes to every protest and she says all the right things, so maybe Damani can look past the one thing that's holding her back. She's never dated anyone with money before, not to mention a white girl with money, but just as their romance intensifies and Damani finally lets her guard down, Jolene does something unforgivable, setting off an explosive chain of events, a wild one, sitting read with brimming dark comedy and piercing social commentary, and announcing Priya Guns' feverishly original voice. Your Driver is Waiting is a crackling send-up of culture of modern alienation. Like, I am so excited for this. And this was an ARC as well. It says not for sale, bound galley. Like, it came out a while ago, but I love this. Like, it's such a gorgeous cover too. And it's one that I've been needing to put on my TBR for a minute. Not gonna lie, I've had this book for a while. But it sounds so good, and I cannot wait to read it. And then let's see here. We have All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. This one is a beautiful and provocative love story between 2 unlikely people and the hard-won relationship that elevates them above the Midwestern meth lab backdrop of their lives. All the Ugly and Wonderful Things challenges all we know and believe about the human heart. It sounds good. I cannot wait. Like, I love anything with even just a little bit of romance. So, look at that. It's gorgeous. Love the wheat on the background there. Like, it's a gorgeous book, and I cannot wait to get to it. Let's see here. We have The Horror Hotel, which this was one of my favorite quick reads from 2024. I know, it skipped a year because I went through a lot of moving and stuff and didn't really have a lot of chances to read in 2025. But this book, I loved it. It was such a good quick read. When the YouTube famous ghost gang Chrissy, Chase, Emma, and Kiki visit a haunted LA hotel notorious for tragedy to secretly film after dark, they expect it to be just like their previous paranormal hauntings, spooky enough to attract subscribers and ultimately harmless. But when they stumble upon something unexpected in the former room of a gruesome serial killer, they quickly realize that they're in over their heads. Sometimes it's the dead who need our help, and the living we should fear. Like, this was actually a really good quick read, guys. It took me less than a day. Such a good book. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Believe I gave it like a 3.7 on Goodreads when I read it, so it's a really good book. And then we have this one, which was also a Christmas gift this year. This is The Birthday Girl by Sue Fortin. It says, Dear Carries, Zoe and Andrea, come join me for my 40th birthday adventure weekend, full of mysteries and surprises like the which you can't imagine. The likes of which you cannot imagine. When Joan's friends reluctantly accept an invitation to her birthday party, it quickly becomes clear that there is more to this weekend than they are expecting. One of them is hiding a secret, and Joan is planning to reveal it. A weekend away in a cottage in the woods sounds like fun until no one can hear your cries for help. 4 friends, a party to die for, who will survive? Sounds like a good, just like, run-of-the-mill book. Definitely worth reading, though. Can't wait to get to it. Super excited for it. Sounds like it'd be, you know, a good average book, good filler book between some of my series and stuff that I've got going on, so can't wait to get to it. And then we have The Summer of Good Intentions by, I think it's Andy Francis, author of 3 Good Things, and it says, it is everything a summer read should be, Ellen Hilderbrand. Which, Ellen Hilderbrand, I've heard really good things about too, and I need to find some of her books. But I cannot wait to get to this one. The cover looks cozy. It looks like it'd be a good, like, birthday month read for me, because my birthday's in July. So I will probably end up giving this a read at some point around then, if it ends up in my TBR, which I'm hoping it does. Because, yeah, I do love a good kind of going into this unknown type thing, because I've never heard anything about this book. And then we have Those Empty Eyes by Charlie Donnelly, author of 20 Years Later, which I've heard that's a really good book too, so I'm excited to get into this one. It says, Alex Armstrong has changed everything about herself. Her name, her appearance, her backstory. She's no longer a terrified teenager a rapt audience saw on television, emerging in handcuffs from the quiet suburban home the night her family was massacred. That girl, Alexandria Quinlan, nicknamed Empty Eyes by the media, was accused of the killings, fought to clear her name, and later took the stand during her highly publicized defamation lawsuit that captured the attention of the nation. It's been 10 years since, and Alex hasn't stopped searching for answers about the night her family was killed, even as she continues to hide her real identity from the true crime fanatics and grasping reporters still desperate to locate her. As a legal investigator, she works tirelessly to secure justice for others too. People like Matthew Claymore, who's under suspicion in the disappearance of his girlfriend, a student journalist named Laura McAllister. Laura was about to break a major story about rape and cover-ups on her college campus. Alex believes Matthew is innocent and unearths stunning revelations about the university's faculty, fraternity members, and powerful parents willing to do anything to protect their children. Most shocking of all, as Alex digs into Laura's disappearance, she realizes that there are connections to the murder of her own family. For as different as the crimes may seem, they each hinge on one sinister truth. No one is quite who they seem to be. I'm so excited for this one, guys. The cover is gorgeous. The premise sounds amazing. And I'm excited for it. And I've heard really good things about Charlie Donnelly books, so I cannot wait to get to that one. And then we have this one here. This one might end up being an unhaul. It's The Compass Rose by Gail Dayton. I've heard good things about it. It says that the legends of Godstruck were just that, legends. Until, in an attempt to defend her people, Captain Callista Barrow called on the One for aid and was granted abilities such as no one had seen in centuries. Now Callista has been charged with a new destiny as one of the most powerful women in the land. But her power is useless if it cannot be controlled. Mastering her God-struck abilities is the first step. The next, learning that she cannot unlock the secrets of the Compass Rose and defeat her nation's enemy alone, and she finally must stop a demon-possessing king. The Compass Rose, fourfold magic, barely understood or contained. I will give it a chance. It sounds like it could be really good. So, but I've heard mixed reviews on it. So I'm excited to get to it, and we shall see how it goes. It could end up, being one of my favorite, fantasy books of all time. You never know. But we shall see. Gosh, this video is already almost at 2 hours long. We're almost done though, guys, so bear with me here. If you stuck around this long, I love you, I appreciate you, and please subscribe, because I love doing stuff like this, and if you guys stuck around for this long, I appreciate you. And we have right here, this is another Montana kind of based book. It's called Buster's Midnight Cafe by Sandra Dallas. A compelling and charming book by Jane Smiley from Vogue magazine. This one says, Mariana Kavax was discovered on the dusty streets of Butte, Montana, and went on to become a Hollywood star. War, fame, marriage, love, and heartbreak came and went. What never changed was the bond she shared with her two best friends, Effa and Whippy. When scandal, murder, and betrayal make legend of Mariana, only Effa and Whippy Bird could set the record straight. And the town that it's based in is a coal mining town in Montana. It's called Butte, but it's spelled butt, like Butte. So we all say it's like the butt of Montana. But I am actually really excited to get to this book because, like I said, I love books based in Montana. I try to get them when I find them. So this is one. Me and my fiance are actually going to be doing a tandem read on this book because I found it for him for Christmas. So we're going to read it together at some point. He doesn't do a lot of reading, and I made him promise to do that challenge with me to see who could read the same book faster. So we shall see how this goes. But then we have this one, which I've heard really, really good things about, and I need to get to it. This is The House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. If you haven't heard about this book, where have you been? I've heard really good things. I just need to get to it. It sounds like something that would be exactly right up my alley of like fantasy, that kind of stuff. So I am good, and I need to get to this at some point. Like, I will get to it. I also have a couple other Erin A. Craig books that I need to get to too. Gosh, awful. And this one right here is The Sacrifice by Rin Capecco, I think is how you say that. It sounds really good. And it says, they were warned, they didn't listen. And then the back says, he who offers the sacrifice controls the God's eye. The first to feed, the second to seed, the third to wear, the fourth to birth, the fifth to serve, the sixth to lure, the seventh to consume, and the last to wake. Pristine beaches, lush greenery, and perfect weather, the island of Kismata would be the perfect vacation destination, if not for the curse. The Filipino locals speak of it in hushed voices and refuse to set foot on the island. They know the lives it has claimed. They won't be next. A Hollywood film crew won't be dissuaded. Legend claims dreamer God sleeps, waiting to grant unimaginable powers in exchange for 8 sacrifices. The producers are determined to document the evidence, and they convince Elon, a local teen, to be their guide. Within minutes of their arrival, a giant sinkhole appears, revealing a belet tree with a mummified corpse entwined in its gnarled branches. And when the crew starts seeing strange visions, Elon knows they are falling victim to the island's curse. If Elon can't convince them to leave, there's no telling who will survive or how much the dreamer god will destroy. I'm excited for this one. Like, it just sounds so good. Like, I need to get to it very quickly. But I have a lot of books I need to quote unquote get to, so we shall see. And this one is also quite a new edition. This one is The Cursed Prince, The Night Elves Trilogy by C.N. Crawford. Guys, the cover should tell you about the spice level in the book. I'm so excited to get to this one. I love me a good, like, dark-haired MMC. So I'm excited for this one. This one says, my heart hasn't beat in 1,000 years. I haven't uttered a word in prison, and the guards keep their distance. If they get too close, they die, until at last my magic binds my soul to another. Unfortunately, the person destined to save me is a night elf, the enemy of my kind, and yet when I see her in the cell across from mine, an ember starts to burn in my chest. When we escape together down the palace walls, it's almost like I can feel again. As we journey to find the magic that will save us both, attraction simmers between us. But I keep my secrets close, because if she finds out what I am, she will find a way to kill me, even if it means sacrificing herself to do it. Guys, forced proximity, bound together. I've heard mixed reviews about this book too, but I'm so excited to get into it because I don't believe in the naysayers until I read the book myself. So I'm excited. The cover is just like chef's kiss on the cover. Like, yeah, yeah. We're gonna put the spice into the spice stack. The books. Um, Here I have another Darcy Coates book. This one is Hunted. I've heard really good things about it, and I really loved all the books that I've read by Darcy Coates so far, which was the Where He Can't Find You, the one about the stringy, murdery serial unaliver person. That was amazing. So I'm excited to get into this one. It says 5 days after Eileen Hirschberger went missing on a hike through the remote Ashlow Forest, her camera was discovered washed down river containing bizarre photos taken hours after her disappearance. But with no body and no additional clues, finding Eileen in the dark and winding woods seemed to be next to impossible. Chris wants to believe his sister is still alive. When the police search is abandoned, he and 4 of his friends vow to scour the mountain range until they find Eileen and bring her home. But as the small group strays farther from the trails and the unsettling discoveries mount, they begin to realize they're not alone, and Eileen's disappearance was no accident. But by then, it's already too late. I love a good serial killer stalking in the woods kind of theme, so I am very excited to get into this one. And let's see, we're down to like the last 10 books, guys. So, woohoo! Thank you for making it this far if you did. We have The Gilded Butterfly Effect by Heather Colley. This is an advanced reader copy. It came out October 21st of 2025. Guys, I am so excited to read this. Even though it's the arc that's already came out, I am still excited to get to this. It has ashamedly been on my shelf since before it came out. I know. Bad me. Read the arcs first. But this one is the debut novel by award-winning author Heather Colley, provides a hilarious but unflinching look at today's U.S. college campus experience, from the highs and lows of the nonstop party scene to the absurdities of modern psychiatric care, the implications of prescription drug abuse, and the impenetrable fraternity and sorority scene, toxic female friendships, and campus sexual assaults. Perfect for fans of Mona Awad's Bunny, Ottessa Moshfeg's My Year of the Rest and Relaxation, with a nod to the campus literary tradition of Elif Boutman's Either Or, but about Heather Colley. Heather Colley's short fiction has, all the good stuff. So I'm excited to get to this. Like, I need to read the arcs first. I know, I'm bad, but I will get to it. Let's see here. Up next, we have a book that was another Christmas gift this year. This is Intervention by Terry Blackstock. It's a little bit out of my realm. It says, Barbara Covington has one more chance to save her daughter from a devastating addiction by staging an intervention, but when 18-year-old Emily disappears on the way to drug treatment and her interventionist is found dead at the airport, Barbara enters her darkest nightmare. Barbara and her son set out to find Emily before Detective Kent Harlan arrests her for a crime he's sure she's committed. Fearing for Emily's life, Barbara maintains her daughter's innocence, but does she really know her anymore? Meanwhile, Kent has questions of his own. His gut tells him that this is a case of addict killing for drugs. But as he gets to know Barbara, he begins to hope he's wrong about Emily. The panic level rises as the mysteries intensify. Did Emily's obsession with drugs lead her to commit murder? Or is she another victim of a cold-blooded killer? And it looks like this is the first in a series too, so I'm really excited to get to this one. It sounds like it could be a really intriguing premise, so hopefully I get to it soon. Up next we have Waterfall. It's the River of Time series by Lisa T. Bergen. This is most American teenagers want a vacation in Italy, but the Petrini sisters have spent every summer of their lives among the romantic hills with their archaeologist parents. Stuck among the rubble of medieval castles in rural Tuscany on yet another hot, dusty archaeological site, Gabby and Leah are bored out of their minds until Gabby places her hand atop a handprint in an ancient tomb and finds herself in 14th century Italy. And worse yet, in the middle of a fierce battle between knights of two opposing forces. So this could be really good. Or it could end up on the unhaul list. We shall see. But either way, I will give it a chance. Up next, we have The Dark Beneath the Ice. I really loved this book. It's by Emelinda. I'm gonna stop trying to butcher names at this point and I'll just show it. But it's, I read it probably in 2024 or 2023. I loved this book. I did not like Here There Are Monsters. I did end up unhauling that one to my Pango Books. So if that's something you guys are interested in, it is for sale at the moment. So this one I did love by her though. It's Something is Wrong with Marianne. It's not just that her dad has finally left or her life hasn't been the same since she quit dancing, or even that her mother has checked herself into a hospital. She's losing time, doing things she'd never do, and the face in the mirror doesn't look like her own. Marianne's not sure what to believe. Is something after her, or is she following in her mother's footsteps? Marianne doesn't trust herself, but she does trust the only person who's willing to try to help, the daughter of a local psychic. But the more the two dig into what's wrong with Marianne, the more the line between nightmare and reality is blurred, and Marianne has to figure out what's real before she loses everything. This was a good book. I would give it a solid 3.2. Wasn't like the greatest book on the planet, but it was really good. And that's why it stayed on my shelf. And my book stack has just collapsed behind me. We're gonna ignore that. Let's see here. Up next, we're just gonna grab the last of the books for this video. Let's see. We have... Excuse me. Before We Were Innocent by Ella Berman. This one is 10 years ago after a sun-soaked summer spent in Greece with best friends Bess and Joni were cleared of having any involvement in their friend Evangeline's death, but that didn't stop the media from ripping apart their teenage lives like vultures. Sounds very kind of, what is it? It's like Amanda something. Like that true crime that happened. God dang it, brain. Work with me. But anyways, this sounds like it could be really good. So I'm excited for it. And then we have Snow White and the Huntsman. I loved this book, guys. Read it. I love this retelling. It's so good. Just read it. And then we have 3 books by this little indie author. Her name is Brenda Bideau and Ryan Milletti. So it's by 2 people. A grandmother and a grandson duo. I loved this little set so much. They're good little novellas. You can read them all within a day. The first one is Pond Water. Great cover right there. And then the second one is Riptide. Pond Water, Riptide. And then Pond Water Genesis. Guys, read these books. Support indie authors. These are great. 10 out of 10. These little novellas are amazing. She's a little old grandma and her grandson, and they write these books together. It's amazing. Just check the books out. Then we have the Fiery Wars by Herbie Brennan. It says Fiery Wars is an astounding blend of fantasy, mythology, and science. Cannot wait to get into that one. And then we have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Again, this is a book I've had since I was in high school. I loved it. 10 out of 10. If you haven't read it, please do. Trying to get through these last 3 books real fast because we're almost at 2 hours. And then next, I have one of my favorites from childhood. This one is The Incredible Journey by Sheila Burnford. Guys, if you loved the movie with Shadow Chance and Sassy, read the book. It is so good. I read it in like 6th grade, and I honestly might do a reread on it just to see if it still lives up, but the Shadow Chance Sassy relationship, I love it so much. Then we have Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. If you haven't read this, what are you doing? Go read the book. 10 out of 10. Please do. This is devastating, but it is so good. And then we have Bad Girls Don't Die by Kate Allender. This one is a kind of a YA type book as well. It says when Alexis's little sister Casey becomes obsessed with an antique doll, Alexis thinks nothing of it. Casey is a weird kid, period. Alexis is considered weird too, by the kids in her high school, by her parents, even by her own goth friends. Things get weirder though when the old house they live in starts changing, doors open and close by themselves, water boils on an unlit stove, and an unplugged air conditioner turns the house cold enough for the girls to see their breath. Casey is changing too. Her blue eyes go green, and she uses old-fashioned language, then forgets chunks of time. Most disturbing of all is the dangerous new chip on Casey's shoulder. Formerly gentle, doll-loving child is gone. The new Casey is angry. Alexis, the only one who can stop her sister. But what if the green-eyed girl isn't even Casey anymore? It sounds like a possession type book, and I love possession books, so I'm really excited to get to this one. And guys, this is the last video in this last book in this 2-hour long video. And if you stayed this long, please, subscribe if you like the chaos, the randomness that are gonna be my videos like this. But anyways, thank you guys if you stuck around this long. For real. Like, please, thank you so much for sticking around for the bookshelf tour, parts 1 and 2. Part 2 ended up being like way longer than part 1 by at least an hour. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe, follow the Pango Bookstore, and I will have all my other stores listed down below as well. So if you're interested in seeing any of the books that I've unhauled that could be up your alley, check out the store listing down below, subscribe, do all the fun things. I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos like book mail, book reviews, thrifting videos. I love doing stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in things like that and you've stuck with this video for this long, subscribe, come back. I post videos once a week, twice a week sometimes. But anyways, I hope that you guys have a good day. If you have any good reviews that are spoiler free of any of the books you've seen in here, post it down below. And I'm gonna go and relax for a while. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night, day, whatever time it is. And peace out.